Hi guys, it's Michael with the Counselor Corner podcast. I'm so sorry that I haven't been able to um post a video recently. It's been very hard on me just to figure life out as right now because um I just got super busy at work, and self-care is a very good thing. Today we're going to talk about post-traumatic stress disorder. And a lot of people kind of associate this with soldiers coming back home. And yes, even though the soldiers can have these, but a lot of people do. Um, a lot of people have it with um, like for instance, like I read an article with the Sandy Hook, not the Sandy Hook, the shooting and down the stoning. Stoneman. Anyway, the shooting down at the high school in Florida. Uh, but like mental health issues are at high alert down there because of stuff like that, and that's actually kind of common too, because like uh even with the Columbine there was stuff like that going on. Um, but like that's when the responses are more severe, and it's very it is essential for people to get connected with a mental health counselor, regardless if you need it or not. Always. Um, but anyway, I digress. I digress a lot, apparently, in these videos. But the thing is like there's other disorders along with post-traumatic that are related to traumatic experience. For instance, um, post-traumatic stress disorder is one of the most common ones, but you gotta like then there's also acute stress disorder, um, which pretty much comes right after the event. Like a lot of people with post traumatic stress disorders will have flashbacks. They're hypervigilant. Um, they have nightmares and such, negative cognitions of the world and such. Um, and it's just to help the brain to process this as well. Um, there's a couple of other topics I want to talk about is generational trauma, and also generational trauma. We'll talk about that right now. Generational trauma is basically when trauma transcends to the next childhood. For instance, Holocaust survivors. There was a study done on Holocaust survivors, and then when their children, they did a study on them, and they're more likely to have anxiety, depression, more prone to develop PTSD if something were to occur. And that's really, and like we see that a lot, especially in like poor areas where mental health is just not enough in the area. Another thing is to know is that there is a connection. There is a connection between trauma and addictions. And like I have worked with addicts before. Nearly all of them had some sort of trauma. That's how they got into the addictions, is to numb away the pain a little bit. And then there's the age-old debate, well, what do you treat first, the addictions, or do you treat the trauma? You know what? That's not, for my own personal opinion, is you treat the addiction first on that part, because you're literally cannot, you have to find the coping skills in order to deal with all your baggage first, because it's just not right, It's like open up a can of worms and let them spread all around with no plan of getting them back into the can. I don't know if that's the right analogy, but whatever. But, trauma affects children a lot. And it's just understanding what you do in that matter. A lot of people use trauma-focused therapy, or not trauma-focused CBT with a lot of people are experimenting with EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. Yeah, say that 5 times fast. But no, but also exposure therapy, and like there's a lot of research of what you can do in terms of treatment. But first and foremost, you have to have the client stabilized. First and foremost, above all else, stabilize, and stabilize. If not, you're just like, I don't know, like what the heck you're doing, But I think like it's very, very different for each person, and each treatment is going to look differently. Like there's also there's a lot of things that you got to recognize too, that some people are going to be not as affected from one thing than the other too. A good example of this is Jurassic Park. Very first T-Rex scene is anyway, like T-Rex almost ate these kids, and they saw him eat another human being, but like one of the guy ran away, and like during like Dr. Grant was like further down the scene, there was like he was like the guy had to get back up into a tree and such to get another kid, but the girl was like, he left us. That was the only thing that her brain was going back to, and it's like trying to process, this person just abandoned me. Then we talk about abandonment a lot. But people got to figure that out when it comes to trauma. What does this mean? Nightmares, flashbacks, it's your body telling you you'll keep a score. And it's just recognizing people will avoid certain triggers. And it's, you just gotta see what is going on with that human being. I'm in the process of getting getting a certification in trauma and such. I got a concentration, that was my concentration in grad school. It was trauma and crisis counseling, and also pastoral counseling, Christian counseling. I don't know. But it was to show us that that trauma is very common, and it needs to be addressed on a larger scale. So does addictions. Now I'm on my soap opera box. But it's very, very normal to go through and have these experiences of nightmares, avoiding certain areas, even having these negative thoughts of shame, guilt, and such. And it's just to understand that life will get better from there once you start to talk about it. Because here's the thing, everybody processes it differently. People will process it right afterwards. Some people it takes like a couple of months. Some people 40, 50 years. Everybody's different. For me, it's like I want to work with this population. Because I see how badly people are hurting. And it's just not to say that, it's not to say that trauma can actually affect other disorders too, if you're not careful, because there's so much research within the brain, the left and the right, the emotional and the logical side of it, and it kind of gets out of whack a little bit. But it's just to help them process the events. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for today, and I am sorry for waiting so long for it. Stuff is happening, and it's just gotta find the time for life. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Yeah, and I'm kind of excited to be back and done this. Chat. See you guys later. Bye.